Our group decided to assess whether or not there was any correlation between the percentage of the population living in urban areas and the income per person, or GDP per capita. A population shift towards urban centers infers that farming has become more productive and more people can work in specialized fields, such as research or industry, which will improve the economic health of a country in the long run. First, we looked at the data for the percentage of the population that lived in urban areas from 1960 to 2011. Here we identified several different countries on different continents that underwent a significant population density shift between rural and urban areas over the half century. These countries are Afghanistan, Brazil, China, Denmark, Ethiopia, Finland, the Philippines, Russia, and the United States. However, since there is a possibility that GDP per capita may increase as the urban population remains stagnant or decreases, we found countries where the data showed either a steady or decreasing urban population in the 1960 to 2011 timeframe. These countries are Cambodia, Malta, which started off at 90% urban in 1960, Singapore, which started off at 100% urban in 1960, and the United Kingdom. Next, we analyzed GapMinder data further and looked for outliers. One of the outliers was China, which showed fluctuations in GDP capita during the period of about 20 years starting from 1960, despite a consistent increase in the percentage of the population living in urban areas. However, this can be explained by the large population boom in China that started in the 1960s, where the population jumped from almost 700 million in 1964 to 1 billion in 1982. Hence, the GDP capita value may simply have been unstable due to the great population increase. Another outlier was Ethiopia, which saw no significant growth in GDP capita starting 1974 to about 2005. This can be explained by the political turmoil that was caused by the Ethiopian Civil War, which started from 1974 and resulted in a political overthrow of the government in 1991. Hence, the infighting halted Ethiopia's economic growth and negated any potential positive effect that an increase in urban population could have on the economy. Similarly, the fluctuations in GDP capita seen by Cambodia were also as a result of political turmoil, namely the Cambodian genocide that happened in 1975 to 1979. On the other hand, in the group of countries that had almost no change or growth in the percentage of population that lived in the urban areas, there was still a significant increase in GDP capita, especially for the countries Singapore and Malta. Since the two aforementioned countries already had high urban populations, other factors than an increase in urban population must have contributed to the growth of their economies. Hence, it can be seen that an increase in the percentage of people in urban areas is not the sole contributing factor to the rise in GDP capital due to the various aforementioned outliers. However, it cannot be ignored that the other countries not categorized as outliers see an increase in GDP capita as the percentage of people living in urban areas increase. This can be explained as people generally become more productive when they start living in urban areas due to a conglomeration of factors, included but not limited to increased diversity and specialization of jobs, the implementation of public transportation, and often higher quality education that is more readily available in rural areas. On the flip side, living in cities is generally more expensive than living in rural areas, so GDP capita may also become higher as urbanization increases, not necessarily due to increased productivity, but rather due to the higher cost of living that is associated with city life. Regardless, there appears to be a strong correlation between the shift in population towards urban areas and the rise in GDP capita.